Welcome to a new episode of the Scripting Then podcast. In today's episode, we're going to talk about the fact that a lot of developers think that ChatGPT, or essentially AI, is going to replace them. I've actually read questions online of new developers thinking whether, is it worth it to pursue a career in software development now that AI can do, whatever a developer can. And let me just break it down to you so that we're all on the same page here. AI is not going to replace you. That's just facts. Not now, at least. We're talking about 5-10 years from now. Who knows? This thing is moving so fast that it's hard to predict, especially if you're not inside the field itself. But you're not just, meat machine that can spit out code, and AI is here to replace you. If you've tried coding with AI, if you tried coding with ChatGPT, you should have realized that the code right now, at the stage it is right now, the code is not perfect. You get maybe 50-60% of the time code that works, and then the rest is just either made up code that doesn't really compile because it's using libraries that don't really exist, or just even worse, logic errors in the code. Things that compile that are syntactically correct, but they just don't do what you want them to. And those are really hard because to find out, because you have to actually debug and understand the code that you're given by the machine. So why the fuss then? Why is everyone talking about this? Why is everyone using it? So developers are not going to be replaced by AI. Not right now, and not for a long time. But it is also true that AI is a huge tool, a wonderful tool, if you know how to use it, if you know the perfect use cases for it, and the use cases where you want to stay away from it, essentially. And you'll get a hang of it by using it, by trying it and figuring out, essentially, in your particular context, in your particular project, or area of expertise, what kind of output you get with it. But in reality, AI is great for writing code because it's gonna write it much faster than you. So how can you use AI to your advantage? You can use it to write boilerplate code. You can use it to get a project going. To write all the basic configuration files, to write all the basic code that you need, and even. Yes, you can use it to write complex algorithms, especially if those algorithms are known. If you're, for some reason you need a quicksort in your algorithms, then definitely that's something that you can tell it to give you, and it will give you probably something that will work. Now, if you need something more complex or more tailored, you can still give it some instructions, and after some iterations, you will get maybe what you want. But the point here is that those iterations, if you learn how to prompt it, maybe it took you 5-10 minutes, of back and forth with the machine, and you got a bunch of code written for you that it would have taken you a lot longer to write. That's the key here. AI is not going to replace you. AI is here to enhance you, to give you the tools to truly make you a faster developer. I don't want to say a better developer, because there is a lot of meaning implied in that word, in that better, that goes beyond the fact that you can write code faster. But it is true that if you use AI, if you use ChatGPT or whatever other AI tool you have at your disposal as a co-writing partner, essentially, a partner that you can't blindly trust. Let me put this out there. if you use it that way, if you know the limitations of it, then you're not going to be replaced by it, but you're definitely going to be more productive, more performant, and heck, you're probably going to write even better code if you know how to use it properly. So when people say that developers are going to be replaced by AI, I don't think they fully grasp what they mean. You're not going to be left out of a job, but the job is going to change. What we're seeing here right now, whether you believe it or not, is the evolution of our industry. It's the evolution of our role, essentially, as a developer. There are many of you out there. I know, I've seen some of you, I've talked to some of you, that you're still neglecting or rejecting AI, essentially. You're thinking, I don't need AI. I can still, do my job without it. I'm perfectly capable of it. And yes, you are, and that is completely true. You are. The thing is, developers, the rest of the industry is already adopting AI. That means they are already using a tool that makes them faster, are less error prone, even more performant, essentially. So the fact that you can write code on your own is not going to be a big deal. In fact, it's going to be a worse deal because it's going to take you longer, essentially. That you're not going to be as fast. You're not going to be as productive as other developers. And that's what we're seeing right now. We're seeing the AI developer, as I like to call it. Not because we're developing AI. Not all of us are working on that field, but you're working with that tool. You're using AI power tools. And there's no going back, essentially. There's no reason to go back unless something dramatically big happens. So what we're seeing here right now, let me say it again, is the AI developer being born. We're seeing the software developer that's going to be the norm for the future, for the foreseeable future at least. So if you're thinking that you can still do your job without AI, and you're still refusing to try it and to see how high it can take you, then you're going to be left behind. And I'm not just saying it. I mean, it's just logic, Why would a company hire you over someone who can, produce the same output in far less time? Exactly the same output. I'm not talking about, copy-pasting ChatGPT's output. We're talking about a developer who is able to use the tool, properly prompt it, get the proper output of it, code that is valid code, that is working and performant code, that has no errors in a fraction of a time. Why would they pick you over that developer? Just think about it. Developers are not going to be replaced by AI. We're going to be enhanced by it. And that's it. It's a short episode today, but I hope that what I said makes sense. And feel free to reach out as usual. Feel free to reach out and leave a comment and tell me what you think about this. Because this is a very polarizing topic. Essentially, you either completely agree with this or just hate my guts for what I just said. There is no middle ground. I've not seen anyone in the middle here. So I would love to know what you think. I would love to know how you feel about using AI tools. And if you're already using them, I want to know if you're thinking about keep doing it, or if you see a way back, essentially, for you and the whole industry to just go back to the old ways. Until then, as usual, catch you on the next one. And that was it for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. And don't forget to rate the podcast in your favorite podcasting app so that it can reach more developers. In the meantime, if you'd like to follow me on Twitter or X, as people call it, just look for me at DeleteMan123. And that's it. Thank you, and catch you on the next one.